Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Hey That's Easy. I'm your host, Lawton Luntz. This is our final episode for season 1, a Halloween themed show that features guests and topics who fit the mold. A psychic, themed merchandise, a young man facilitating a haunted street, a cryptocurrency that will benefit students, and our most famous featured guest, Dracula Rich. Joining me is my co-host, Ava. Welcome. Happy Halloween.
Hello, darlings. As Corella would say, darling, if I'm going to need to repeat myself, this isn't going to work out.
Happy Halloween to you. If I'm not mistaken, this is your favorite holiday, correct?
It is. I'm embarrassed to say Halloween is my absolute favorite. Every year I used to go crazy. Halloween party. I had a corn maze. I buy a new costume every year. Just the whole deal, the whole 9 yards. And I'm not sure why, but I just love it. I think we get to reinvent ourselves for one night, right?
I love it. You look great. Well, it's not a party unless we welcome in Danny from behind the green curtain. I mean, David S. Pumpkins to the show.
Any questions?
There he is. Welcome, sir. Good to see you.
Happy Halloween. I can't believe season 1 is over and there's still no questions.
It's incredible. What a crazy year it's been. I've had fun.
No, it's been awesome. You guys have done a hell of a job. It's been an honor to be part of this from behind the scenes and occasionally on the show itself. But I just want to take my David S. Pumpkins wig off to you and tell you that you should be very proud of the work you've done. Ava's sister asked a ton of questions, so I guess she does ask questions. And I'm very grateful and humbled to be part of this. And I thank you.
All right, since it's a Halloween episode, we got to talk.
I'm David Pumpkins, man.
Favorite candy?
Wow.
What do you guys got? Ava, what's your favorite candy on Halloween?
I'm weird. I like black licorice.
That's so gross.
And I like peanut butter, of course. So anything with peanut butter.
Okay. The only answer is those wax bottles with the liquid that look like little Coke bottles. That's it. Nerds, assorted flavors of nerds, and bottle caps.
So I will second the bottle caps. That is actually an old school candy. I'm with you there. I've always been a fan of dots. People always said I was weird for that. But I love me some dots. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
They stick to your teeth and you can't get them off.
So good. All right, so scary movies. You just said you saw the most recent Halloween, right, Ava? So that was good.
Right.
Do you have an all-time favorite scary movie?
I mean, Halloween's up there. I really like the Rob Zombie version of Halloween. I thought that was so cool to go back in the day and see, what made him crazy. But I also like Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp. That's always one of my favorites. So I like them all, from the kids' movies to the gore and the horror and the slashers.
I'll second you on the Halloween. I would say Michael Myers to this day still freaks me out. And above and beyond it, everyone's chasing second. What about you, Danny?
2 things. One, all the early Friday Night Lights, all the early Friday the 13th movies and Nightmare on Elm Street movies because of the nudity when I was a young kid. But the greatest horror movie of all time, is Get Out, hands down.
That is a pretty good movie. I will give you that. That's good stuff. All right, last but not least, Halloween songs. Do you guys have a favorite song around this time of year, or favorite? Like an eerie sound or anything like that.
There's once again, and not to sound like all my answers are the best. There's only one answer for that. It's Thriller. It's the greatest music video of all time. I do anything. I can do the Thriller dance. I've done it in front of schools before, and that's the way you got to roll. Thriller. All
right, Ava, what about you?
I just watched the Freddy Krueger and 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4. Now I got that in my head. So
this girl goes licorice and that song. Those are her 2 things.
I'm a weirdo. What can I say?
By the way, Eric Fry. Not to pivot. We did have a question from Eric Fry. Go ahead.
Who was your pick in the World Series?
I think we should all pick the World Series, starting with Ava.
I like them. Go Braves.
For the win.
Braves at 6. Go ahead, Lon.
I'm with you. Oh, well, my Halloween song is Thriller is my number 2, but I always like Somebody's Watching Me because really the only time of year I hear that, it also has Michael Jackson in it. So little rock.
So does Eric. So does Eric Glenn Fry.
There it is, man. We're on the same page, man. That's the jam.
Season of the Witch. That is a great song. She's absolutely right, Ruth.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Silence
Now,
of the Lambs.
if we're talking theme music, the Halloween theme music still kind of freaks me out. Just a little
Oh,
piano.
Do 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 do.
You always know. You always know what's coming.
Yeah, that one always gets you going.
Well, good stuff, you guys. I mentioned that this is episode 10, the last episode of season 1 of Hey, That's Easy. We've met so many great people across the country doing this monthly show. So grateful to have made it through our first season. And I want to thank all of our viewers, feedback, support, guests, Dan, Ava. It's been quite the journey. So to celebrate, I have a couple of suggestions for our viewers. We're going to ask them for 2 things, and hopefully you guys are on board with this. The first thing is I want to see pictures from the costume parties for Halloween, showcasing your creativity, whether it's even just your costume or maybe you decorated your front yard. You can send these pictures to our Hey That's Easy show at gmail.com. We want to check them out, and we'll feature them on our Thanksgiving episode in late November. Now, the second ask I have are videos of you making your favorite recipes for Thanksgiving. Send those videos also to the same email address, heythat'seasyshow at gmail.com. That was our first show last year. It got critically acclaimed. Everybody, we had so many great people talk about all the dishes. So we want to do it this year, and hopefully we have more to show and we can just go fast. I had a blast with that last year, and that's kind of how things kicked off for us. So we'll do food around Thanksgiving. We'll showcase some Halloween stuff, and those are our 2 asks for our next show. If our viewers can help us out with that, we'd really appreciate it. What do you think, Ava? Dan,
those recipes were the best.
It's a brilliant idea.
Well, we had a ton of fun, obviously, doing the Thanksgiving stuff for our first show last year, November 2020. So I want to remind everyone, I know we asked for pictures of Halloween, food videos for the November show. You don't have to send in perfect videos, no problem. Our production team will edit them and make you look amazing. You can even feel free to email us your idea ahead of time, and we can kind of walk you through how to best record yourself and whatnot. So for everyone that sends in a video, Ava, I'm down, or a Halloween photo, I think the staff, all of us here at the Hey That's Easy production, we're going to return the favor and send them a Hey That's Easy prize pack. Fair enough?
Yay! I love giving out prizes. Yes.
We've got some stuff. We've got some stuff brewing for season 2.
Bring us your weirdest recipes for Thanksgiving, something that's a tradition, something that's, just odd. We love it. Bring it to us.
All right. Well, let's get started with tonight's show. Coming up later on episode 10, an author and psychic, plus an individual that will take the horror out of investing into cryptocurrency. Up first, though, we want to welcome a guy that has all the gear merchandise needed for Halloween, plus more. Let's welcome Salem Sloan to the show, here to talk about his clothing line, Hauntwares. Salem, welcome, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Salem.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Thanks. Great to have you. I checked out your website earlier today, and you got a lot of good stuff on there, especially for Halloween. What's the hot item right now?
The hot item is, we sell a bunch of stuff. I just put up a couple of shirts based on Beetlejuice. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see them. They're right there, the first 2. And as soon as I put those up on Instagram, they got a ton of likes. A ton of people were like, "Yeah, I need that." So yeah, that's I think those are those newest ones. Or what's really
about that movie? Right, that is an awesome movie. That's okay. Yeah. That will change my Halloween favorite movie.
It's my favorite movie of all time. Period.
It's a good one. So what inspired you to create Hauntwares? Did you just wake up one day and I'd like to sell spooky shirts?
Well, I mean, I have always loved Halloween and horror and monsters and everything spooky and scary. It's my passion. And it actually came about due to COVID. Last year, I lost my main gig due to COVID. Mm-hmm. And while I was sitting thinking, well, okay, what am I going to do next? I thought, well, I can open a t-shirt shop because I've always wanted to. And so I just took a couple of months to figure out how to actually do it. And I did it. I had the time, I had the energy, I had the resources. I was pretty lucky to be able to do it, actually. So, yeah. It's a pretty simple story. It's something a lot of people have gone through, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, is that a daunting process to make a shirt? Do you sketch them out? How does this idea come to fruition? How do you get it to a t-shirt? What's the process?
Well, I mean, I'll have an idea for something that, excuse me. I'll have an idea for something that I like a phrase or an image or something. Like for Halloween, I just thought of like for the stuff that I just put out for Halloween. I just thought, what are all of the cool vintage Halloween things that I love? And I started thinking of just like topics, like subjects that I wanted to draw, basically. And I'm like, okay, so I want to have something with a skeleton. I want to have some jack-o'-lanterns. I really love the look of those old vintage, like black cat decorations.
Yeah.
So I just ended up sketching out a bunch of ideas, taking notes for things that I wanted to make, and then just getting to it.
Wow. That's impressive. So you're actually the mind behind the creation. You like to draw, and you're an artist.
Yeah.
That's what you
Yeah.
are.
I'm
Amazing.
an illustrator and designer. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The website, all the designs, everything is 100% me. So I'm kind of learning how to like build a website and everything as I go.
Oh, so you're teaching yourself.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would have never guessed. I looked at the website, looked very professional. So good job.
Well, thank you.
So what are some of the biggest sellers that you have besides the Beetlejuice?
Well, I mean, right now, all the Halloween stuff. I just had a sale a couple of weeks ago, and some people just bought a ton of Halloween stuff. There is a line of shirts that I have called Googlies, and they're meant to look like stickers from the 80s and 90s that have like googly eyes.
I remember
that.
Yeah.
But they're printed onto the shirts. So it looks like you have on your shirt a giant, like 1.5 foot tall googly eye sticker.
That's amazing.
I have to check that out. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. People are into those. I love making them. They're fun. I just put up one for this Halloween season of Freddy. So from the Nightmare on Elm Street series. So if you want to see a drawing of Freddy with giant googly eyes, then there you go. And you can have it on a shirt.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Now going in it seasonally, obviously Halloween ends soon. You're going to go into Thanksgiving and Christmas. You do a lot of seasonal shirts. Do you find that the ones with the sayings do better than the pictures, or what seems to be what grabs people?
Well, the whole site is Halloween and horror. So the Halloween, like everything is up year round, except for, so I do a couple of Christmas designs every year. And I'm still working on the ones that are going to be coming out for this Christmas. But last Christmas I did a couple, one of them was based on some old 80s toys. All of my stuff is like retro and vintage.
We like it.
Yeah.
Because we're old school.
My second favorite after Halloween, 80s stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So like 80s and 90s designs are what I really get into.
That's awesome. So he reinvented himself. I mean, out of COVID, we're getting all these entrepreneurs inspirational. We need to support our entrepreneurs out there, and especially something so unique like this.
I'm so lucky that I had the resources available to be able to do this, frankly.
Do you do custom work if someone asked you to create something, or?
I absolutely could. I haven't really yet. I totally could. If somebody wants to contact me with an idea they've got, I can absolutely talk to people about stuff.
Cool.
Great. Well, they obviously can get you on hauntwares.com. You mentioned you're on Instagram. Where else can prospective buyers look you up at?
Well, it's hauntwares.com and at hauntwares on Instagram. That tends to be where I put most of my like online presence. So yeah, that's easy. It's easy.
It's easy.
Hey, that's easy.
Love it, darling.
Well, Salem, you have the greatest Halloween name ever. We really appreciate you coming on the show and really digging some of the stuff that you're doing. Thanks so much for coming on tonight.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Halloween.
All right. That's cool. He had a lot of great stuff on his site. I can't believe he did that all by himself. That's awesome.
It was probably a learning curve, but look at him now. And I just love the story of someone reinventing themselves, coming from a different field and going into it and thriving. So that is amazing. Yes, thank you, Sarah.
And he's like you. He loves him some Halloween. So it kind of works. He does what he likes, right? So That's awesome.
Which Halloween was 3 times a year.
Yep, there it is. Well, look, we have to turn our attention. I told you all the guests tonight, they're part of this Halloween vibe that we got going on. We're going to turn our attention now to the psychic. Our next guest has previously been on our show in the past, but we had to have her back specifically for this episode. She's written 2 books, Psychic Self-Defense for Everyone and Paranormal Activity. Here to talk about the topics and books, Geraldine St. Joseph. Welcome back to Hey, That's Easy.
Aloha. Thank you for having me back.
Awesome.
Oh.
So this is a really interesting topic for Halloween. I guess my first question really is, when did you really feel like you had some sort of psychic type powers, like you understood different things than others? When did that kind of dawn on you?
When I was a little kid, I thought everybody was like this. And then as I got older, I probably was a teenager before I realized that not everybody experienced the world the way I did. And I still have 52, or I might be 53. I think I'm 53. I still am like, sometimes I'm like, really? No, you didn't hear that? So it's kind of interesting when you're born that way, it's a whole different experience.
Oh, very cool.
I know Ava's got a ton of questions for you.
Always.
I just have to ask this. Do you have some sort of a story or something that happened where just like maybe like something that you helped someone with, or because of this gift that you have?
Wow. I would like to say I help a lot of people. Recently, we had someone who was a friend of mine, and she was a student of mine for many years, for over 20 years. She's older than me. And she was one of my very first clients. And this year, she had a massive stroke, and she was in a coma for, I think, 11 or 12 days. And her family called me, and she was actually telling me like what she wanted them to do. And then what we ended up doing was a miraculous healing. So her prognosis was that they were going to take her off the machines, and she was done. And best prognosis was she was going to be a vegetable, and she was going to be blind, not be able to walk because of all of her injuries. She had injuries in her brain and her lower back. So I got together with some Reiki masters who I was working with at the time. They worked on her a little bit. And then a group of us, some people practitioners and some not. There were 37 people on the call. We all at the same time focused all of our energy on her, and they went through me to focus it to help her recover different parts of her body. And by the end of the call, she opened up her eyes and like was pulling herself up and getting up. And the guy who did the brain scan was like crying. He was like, oh my God. So she still has problems with her vision, and she does have some after effects, but she's walking, talking, and living her life.
With us. Wow, that's
it's crazy. That is like the most extreme case
that's what I was looking for. All right, Ava, take it away.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll remember that. That feels like, the power of many, right?
She felt that the reason why she could leave her body when she was in a coma, and she knew how to, because she contacted her granddaughter, she contacted another woman who she knew was sensitive. The reason why she felt like she could do that and project herself out was because she had studied for so long and had learned about all these different things. Like, I don't do astral projection and stuff like that, but just knowing that it's possible, I think, gives you the ability to do it.
I've never heard that word in my life. Astro projection. Astral.
Astral, yeah.
I learned something new, as always. So how do you know if you have a ghost in your house? Tell me what your thoughts are there.
So the number one, I would say, is if there are times or places where all of a sudden you get hit with an overwhelming emotion and you don't know where it's coming from. So when you feel emotion naturally, you usually feel it from your upper chest and into your throat. But if it's coming from outside, it hits you in your third eye or in between your eyes. So if you feel that pressure, all of a sudden you just want to burst into tears and cry, do not do it. That is a ghost trying to communicate with you. So I would say that would be the easiest way out of anything I could think of.
It's more of a physical manifestation, if you will, on that. Wow. So should we be afraid of ghosts? I mean, everyone is, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, people are afraid afraid of what they can't see. That is kind of freaky, you know, like somebody's watching me take a shower kind of thing.
Are they like, can they do damage? I mean,
they can if they are strong enough. They have to be really, really emotional to be strong enough. I'd say 99% of the time, the most they're going to do is like make a picture fall off the wall or make your lights turn on, that kind of thing. Because all a ghost is a ghost is just a person without a body. So it's like if you woke up tomorrow morning and everybody ignored you, you felt like you were trying to talk to people and nobody could hear you or see you, and you couldn't eat or drink, you're a ghost.
Wow.
So it's kind of terrifying for them. I feel bad for them more than anything.
Wow. Yeah, they're just stuck in purgatory, kind of like the movies say. Oh, we got a question, huh? Do you follow The Secret?
A little bit. I feel like that movie and that whole movement starts in the middle, and they don't give the people the foundation that they need to actually utilize what they can utilize so far as energetically. I think it starts in the middle. A lot of stuff does that. So I do, but not really.
Wow. So what movie in your mind is the most accurate that depicts ghost? Because we've seen so many ghost movies, and this is Halloween time, of course. So we're probably.
I picked out a couple. One was The Others with Nicole Kidman.
I think I've seen that.
Where they're in the house and they think that the living people are intruding on their space, and that is true. And yes, most animals can see and sense ghosts. And then the other one, The Sixth Sense, definitely. Because at the very first scene, I was like, oh, he's dead. And my mom punched me really hard when we were in the movie theater. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh, geez.
It's obvious to me. You know, and then there's one that came out recently called A Ghost Story, which seems like you really have to get through it, but he's just in this space, and you see as the space changes around him over the years. Like he's in a home, and then it becomes an apartment building, and then it becomes something else. So that is really, really very, very accurate, because they choose to stay in a space, because if you're out on the streets, how much change is happening constantly. Whereas if you're just in a room, it's much, much less. So it's easier to continue to deny that you're not physical anymore.
Wow.
You know,
I'm happy to hear that Sixth Sense is a true depiction, or it's a close one. I remember seeing that movie with the girl I was dating at the time, and she knew. She was like you. She just knew right away, but she didn't say anything to me. And at the end, I was kind of mind blown. And then watching it a second time, it was fun because you kind of knew the outcome. So it almost became a different movie, but really interesting stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Good stuff. So what's next on tap? You've got a few books that you've written. Are you working on anything now?
I am. I want to get back into writing more. These books came out. This was my first one, Paranormal Activity, What Are You Dealing With? And in this one, I go through the definitions of different things, because as psychics, we don't really have set definitions that everybody understands. Like I may say soulmate, Ava could say soulmate, and you say soulmate. We're all thinking something completely different. So I wanted to have a resource where people could go and understand. And then Psychic Self-Defense for Every Day, I wrote that one like a year later. And since then, I've been working more on doing relationship stuff and self-empowerment things and stuff like that. I do have a meetup where we meet most Tuesday nights at 7. Tonight we're meeting at 8, and it's called Mystery, Mystics, and Metaphysics. And we get on there and have discussions, and we take a different topic each week. And a lot of those videos, the first part where I'm explaining something is on YouTube. So it's easy for people to find. Can a spirit enter your body like in the movie Ghost? Yes. Yes, they can. That's why I say, if you feel it, don't do the emotion. And also don't drink heavily, because that is your prime for something to jump in.
Whoa. Now, does this all tie in, like your relationship advice that you give? I know you have great relationship advice. We had you on the show a few months back, but do they tie in with your psychic abilities? Does that help you be a better relationship therapist?
I think it does, because I think when people, especially when I have couples,
Mhm.
when they come to you, oftentimes you have somebody who wants to hide things.
Mhm.
And you have somebody who wants everything out in the open. So if you get somebody like me to do it, I can call BS on things because I'm like, I could see it. You're not telling me the truth. You need to tell me the truth. And then the person has a harder time, weaseling out of answering the questions.
That's right. You can call them out.
Yes.
Oh, looks like another question. Geraldine's popular tonight.
Can I channel? It depends on what you mean by channel. So that's one of the words. So if by channeling you mean like I allow them to use my body and speak through me, no, I don't do that. Can I hear them and give you a message? Yes, I can do that. The way I look at it is anything that is a higher vibration that has information, they're going to find a way to get it through to you. They don't need to use your body to do it. So the only thing where they may use a piece of your body is like automatic writing, or if you're doing a pendulum or something like that.
Very cool. Thank you, Ida, and thank you for liking my outfit, by the way.
And I just saw that movie like a couple nights ago.
Cruella, yeah, it was pretty cool actually.
It was good. I liked it. Yeah.
The favorites of the past years are getting better and better every time they remake them, right? More powerful women, you know. Love it.
Yeah.
We encourage all of our viewers to check out Geraldine's books. You can find Paranormal Activity and Psychic Self-Defense for Everyone on Amazon. We've featured that a couple of times on the show already. Check her out. Great time of year for that. Geraldine, thanks so much for coming back on the show. A lot of interesting information tonight, and glad you were able to answer some of our guest questions.
You are welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Geraldine.
Happy Halloween.
Halloween. Spooktacular.
Spooktacular for sure.
Yeah.
For those that are just joining us on Hey That's Easy, the reason I'm in a doctor's outfit and we have Cruella DeVille as Ava. It's our Halloween episode. Appreciate you joining us. Coming up, a cryptocurrency and its mission to feed students across the U.S. But up first, our most famous guest. You may remember Rich from our first episode last Thanksgiving. He provided the cranberry smoothie recipe. Right. After much acclaim, and we got plenty of emails saying that we want to see Rich again.
It's a crowd favorite.
We brought him back in the summer as Grill Master Rich. Remember Grill Master Rich?
Mm-hmm.
Now he has a new recipe. So here's, Dracula Rich.
This is a witch's lair. Even though it's inside, it looks like it's outside. All the dirty branches, animal parts, hanging roots. And what are those drippy light things? Just so much clutter. Ricando would have a field day with this place. There's so many cans, bottles, containers, all unlabeled. Who knows what you're getting when you get something from a witch? Good evening. Tonight I'm here to talk to you about how to make poison apples. A delicious, tasty treat to give to young children or perhaps to present in your lovely home at a Halloween party. Now, I know what you're thinking. Aren't poison apples a witch thing? Yes, there have been many stories about witches and poison apples, but trust me, you don't want to take any kind of recipe advice from a witch, or any advice from a witch. Vampires are so much better. Let me explain why vampires are so much better than witches. First of all, vampires, we dress better. What do witches wear? Witches wear that black gown, robe. Who even knows what that is? It's always dirty and trust me, it smells. If you're ever in the room with a witch, breathe through your mouth. Oh, there's something going on there. We don't know. But vampires, we know how to accessorize. And best of all, we wear capes. What's the best thing about capes? Let's see. Oh, yes. Superheroes wear capes. Like Superman or, oh, yes, another reason. Batman. That's right. Vampires have their own superhero. Yes, witches have that Scarlet Woman from that TV show that you got to pay for. Oh, no. Batman. Batman makes movies. Witch makes TV. Batman makes movies. Movies automatically better. Another reason why it's better to take advice from the vampire than the witch. Look at how we live. We have many fine pieces. We know how to set up a place, and they're always in a castle. Witches, where do they live? Oh, where do witches live? And poof, like magic, we are in my kitchen. Actually, it's a camera trick. We turn it off. I have to walk like 30 feet. Anyway, we are here with the one thing you need to start all this, a microwave. Not a big ugly pot on a fire. Microwave, much better. And we need a few other ingredients. These are the ingredients you need to make poison apples. Knock, knock. Who's there? Butter. Butter who? Butter, hit the pause button to copy all these things down because we got to keep moving. So here we go. You take 2 tablespoons of very slow-moving corn syrup. There we go. That's perfect. Exact measurements. I'm very big on that. Then you take 2 tablespoons of the water. Dump it right in. Half a cup of sugar. Pour it on top. Then you mix it all together. This part is not hard. Sugar melts really good, especially with water and other crap. After you mix it all up, you take the bowl of the mixture. You put it in the microwave. You have the microwave set for 8 minutes. Scared. You see the microwave, it says boo. Now, while this is cooking, you need to prepare the apples. First, make sure the apples have been washed off. There's wax on these. I don't know. Yuck. Disgusting. Wash it all off so stuff sticks to it. Now, most people take a popsicle stick. Some people take a candy apple stick. Let me tell you the problem with that. They're made of wood. They have pointy ends. Vampires do not like pointy-ended wooden things. So in order to do that, you've got to come up with some other alternatives for a handle. Something made all of plastic, or maybe something plastic and metal. Screwdrivers, nice and metal, nice plastic. And look at the colors. These are great fall colors. Take the screwdriver, put it in the middle of the apple, and shove it in as far as you can go. Now do this to 3 other apples, and you're all set. So the main reason you want to take recipe advice from the vampire and not from a witch, which is they can't cook. You just saw they have that one pot. It always hangs there. It always seems to be boiling over. There's no lid on it. It's not like it's a covered Instapot. It just boils over and sits out. Who knows what's crawling into that pot? Trust me, you don't ever want to taste anything that a witch makes, which is why you come to the vampire to make the delicious, tasty treat of poisoned apples. Come with me. 5 spooky minutes later. Okay, so the reason they have windows in microwave is just for this recipe. You look in, you watch the bowl. You notice the bowl, it starts to bubble. The bubbles, that's a good thing. Let it keep going. You want this to turn to an amber color? Look at that, an amber color. That's what they made those nasty dinosaurs with in those Jurassic movies. Now, you got the amber color. It's all boiling. What you want to do is take the cream and you're going to pour it right in the middle and you're going to stir it. And by the way, wow, is that hot? Stir it up, stir it good, get it around. Very, very nice. Get mixture all mixed together. That's what a mixture is mixed together. Once it's mixed together, you want to add a couple other things, final things. You want to add 1/2 teaspoon. Once again, very accurate measurement. That is vanilla extract. And you want to keep stirring it. Stir it around. Stir it some more. There we go. Now, what you want to do too, you want to add 1 tablespoon of black food coloring. This is what people think is the poison. Once you put that in, stir it around. Notice everything turned black. This is very, very good. And we stir and stir mixture. Yes, very much so. That looks nice and swampy now. That's the color we want for a proper poison apple. Pour down on the sides a little bit. Now you're ready to go. Now, dip the bowl. Get it nice and ready. Oh, one more thing. We forgot the butter. This is not a diet recipe, by the way, if you thought it was. Pour the butter in. Now, mix the butter. Push it around, melt it. Still very hot. It will melt pretty quick. You can use diet butter, but there's no such thing, margarine-inked butter. You want butter here. Unsalted butter is best. See, that sounds like it's healthy, but we all know better. Better butter. Aha! I'm a poet and don't know it. Now, once it's all mixed in, make sure you got something to keep your hands from burning like crazy. Then the mixture over, take your fancy apple, washed off, and dip it in. Start to circle around. Get it nice and covered. Very nice. Oh, look how nice this is working out. Now, take the apple, hold it upside down, let it drip off. This takes about 10 to 15 seconds. 10 to 15 seconds is about as long as it takes for me to tell you. 10 to 15 seconds. Now, after it stops dripping, which it'll do in 10 to 15 seconds, which is about now, take the apple, turn it back over, turn it this way. Don't let it drip on you. Still very hot, very nasty burns. You don't want very nasty burns. Twirl it around a little bit. Watch. Look at that. Get a nice glaze. Oh my gosh. This is such a good glaze on there. If I had a reflection, I could see myself in this apple. Once it looks like it's all covered, which I think it is, no more drips. That's a good thing. That's the 15, 20 seconds. No drips. Perfect. Take it, put it on plate. Make sure you have wax paper on plate. Otherwise, sticky, ugly mess. Now, what you do this to 3 or 4 other apples, depending. You got a lot of stuff here, or anything else you want to dip in there. And you're all set to go. Yes. After all the apples are dipped, put them in the refrigerator for about an hour or more. When you pull them out, you are ready to go. These are perfect poison apples. Every child will love them. You will be the hit of the Halloween party. Now, as you can see, some of these are a ghoulish green. That's by green granulated sugar. Makes it even creepier and more scary for Halloween. You really want to make something scary, make these ooey gooey mess. You do that by getting out your bear. Pour honey all over it. Remember, the best honey comes from a bear. Now that you have your Halloween treat, you are ready to go. Have a happy Halloween.
Ah, yes. Rich is a natural entertainer and just a funny guy overall. Huge props to Rich for sending in videos that are just easy to edit and put together. We appreciate all the content that you send in and all the participation in our show.
That's great. He does Dracula well. I don't know which Rich is my favorite, Grill Master or Halloween Rich, Dracula Rich. That was fantastic. Thank you, Rich. Yes, I want to try to make that. Actually, it looks. He made it look easy.
He did, and that's the type of videos we're looking for our Thanksgiving show. Mm-hmm. So if you're inspired by Rich, or check those out, or go back to our episode 1, you can always log on to our YouTube page and check out some of our past episodes. We encourage everyone to send in those recipes because, like I said, it doesn't look hard. And I mean, I might even make those for Halloween. Those look pretty easy.
That's right. That's what the show's about.
Yeah. Well, Ava, our final guest is coming on our show for the second time in 4 months. You may remember Tony from our July episode. He started the Invisible Dad lunch program up in Michigan in the Walled Lake School District, helping less fortunate kids get money for lunches. He has now taken that program a step further with a cryptocurrency that could make the initiative a national program. Tony Casanova, welcome back to Hey That's Easy. It's good to see you, my friend.
Hey, Lawton. Hey, Ava. How you guys doing today?
Hey, Tony. Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys look great. I love the costume. I was looking around and I was like, hey, what could I do? Because you had said dress up as you if you want. I was sitting here and then I was like, I saw you guys. So I like pulled in my drawer. I had this and I had some glasses. And I was like, if I need to, I could immediately be ready. Okay. But I think today it would be less scary if I just talk to you as the developer of Invisicoin, right?
Yes.
There's all right. So
please.
Yes. So listen, since the last time we talked, we had talked about the Invisible Dad program, right? And how we actually eliminated lunch shaming in the Walled Lake school system through the program and everybody joining in together. So I've gotten throughout the year a lot of questions about like how we can move the program forward, how we can actually make it a national program. A lot of people always want to call me and they're like, hey, I want to donate to your program. How do I get involved? And like that kind of stuff. And then I tell them, go to a school and go to, do this and that. And really, to tell you the truth, I think sometimes we lose people because people just want to get on their computer this day and age. And they're like, hey, I like your cause. I like what you're doing. I want to donate. Tuk, 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 tuk. They donate in a couple of seconds and now they're done, right? So once you extend it and you're like, hey, write a check, send it to a school or go drop it off or this or that. Sometimes it's not that they don't want to anymore, but I think they just get busy, and life takes over at that point. So we wanted to offer a way for streamlining payments and that kind of stuff to get money to the schools when we needed to get it there. Plus, we also wanted to expand the program on a national scale and be able to track which schools we were helping, what districts were being helped more than others, and all that kind of stuff. So with the inception of blockchain technology, and me being a turbo nerd, I've been a turbo nerd for many, many years. So I was able to go in, put together some Python script, a little bit of JavaScript, and before you knew it, we were actually looking at viable cryptocurrency that was out there and is now, it's actually live now. But we're giving it away right now. Right now, we give it away because we're doing what's called an airdrop. It's a procedure that's done to validate coins, to validate the code, and get coins in distribution. As of right now, we have about 250,000 Invisicoin has already been distributed and is in circulation right now. And until November 1st, we're going to be giving away Invisicoin to anybody that asks for it. So I know the topic here is, hey, it's easy, right? And a lot of times people right now, they're seeing Bitcoin and it's going through the roof, and they're hearing about Dogecoin, and they're hearing about Shiba Inu, and they're hearing about like all these different, all these different kinds of cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, and they just don't know where to start. And it seems like a really, really, scary, a scary space. And to tell you the truth, it is a scary space in the beginning because there's so much information out there to learn about cryptocurrencies. You always feel like you never got in on time. You're like, oh, I'm going to get in at the top and I'm going to sell at the bottom, and like that kind of stuff. And it's like, no, you can actually follow some procedures. You can do some things. And more importantly, if you start to get your timing right, you can actually start to track cryptocurrencies that are kind of doing what we're doing right now. So you can actually get into the crypto space for zero money by finding these airdrops. And I'm not the only company airdropping right now. I mean, Bitcoin had to do it, Ethereum had to do it, Solana had to do it. Everybody starts it the same way, because if you create, a wonderful piece of code and, send it off into the universe to do wonderful things, unless people have the code, it doesn't do anything for anybody. So you've got to start off by getting a community based behind it and that kind of thing. So in order to push the community and to grow the community, I did a couple of things with the code that are very interesting. We're not only known as like the future currency of lunch, which is how some people are touting it, because hopefully it's something that will just carry throughout the schools, and all schools will someday have enough money and resources for lunch for any child that needs it, based on the cryptocurrency that we've created. But it's also done something which is very magical, which is Invisicoin has solved what's known as the giver's paradox. That's why it's being touted as one of like the hottest new cryptocurrencies out on the market. We've got a lot of people talking about it. It's being talked about worldwide. And the reason being is because of the code that's written behind it does a very simple thing. And you can find it in the white paper of our website. If you go there, you can find everything that I'm saying. All this information is there, so you can kind of go back to it later. But when you own Invisicoin or you purchase Invisicoin, not only do you purchase lunches for a kid in school, but as a holder of the wallet, you then profit from holding the coin. So let me give you a scenario. So the coin is designed on a biblical principle that as soon as, let's say you took $100, right? And you purchased Invisicoin with $100, once the coin's for sale, as I say, right now, we're only giving it away. But excuse me. if you were to take $100 and you were to buy Invisicoin with it, the first thing that happens is 10% of that comes out. That 10% of your investment is what's used to do good things out in the world. Okay. It's used to buy lunches for kids. At the same time, it gets redistributed throughout the community in a way that 3% of the of your transaction gets distributed amongst other holders of the wallet. Okay. 3% goes into liquidity so that there's always money to cash your Invisicoin in if you do want to get out at any time. Okay. 2% goes to pay for lunches nationwide. 1% gets burned, making the price of the coin even more valuable because the coin is deflationary instead of inflationary. And then 1% of the coin goes to like marketing and, to maintaining the blockchain and et cetera like that. So what happens with your $100 is you put $100 in, you get $90 basically in Invisicoin is what you technically get, correct? 10% went out. But as the next transaction happens, that money starts to come back to you. The longer you hold the coin, the more money actually, it starts to appreciate and appreciate. Eventually, you have your money back. If you hold it longer, you profit until the point you decide to cash it in. So it's the only way you could actually give charitably and at the same time profit while you're doing that. So it's really interesting in the fact that it does those two things,
Wow.
My question is, like, I saw some of this that you were working on over the summer. And I was starting to think, wow, he's going to turn this into a cryptocurrency. That's pretty neat. But where did the light bulb go off? Where were you at? What was the moment we were like, oh, this is what we're going to do?
Well, because when I started the program's so pure and it's so effective that other districts want to use the program as well. But there's no real way for me to track or for as an organization for us to track and be like, hey, well, what's a school in Miami doing? Like, do they need money for lunch and that kind of stuff? With the blockchain, every single transaction is recorded nationwide. So, and we have a record of it all. So we can always just go to the blockchain, look at it, pull out one report and say, hey, nationwide, there's X amount of money for lunches, in all of these different areas, or we have a need in this area, or, we have surpluses. What was happening with us in the Invisible Dad program is you have some schools that have surpluses, ridiculous surpluses of money, right? Because the parents at one school, they get behind it and they give and give and give and give. And then you go to a poorer school and, it's not so good over there, but you still have the same kids and they're both deserving of the same opportunities,
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the thing. So whether one parent can contribute or other parents can't, we still have the issue of children that are mostly middle-class children that are getting their lunches removed from them and are not being able to participate in what I call healthy growth, right? I consider elementary schools to be a microcosm of our communities in the future. So if like you kind of look and walk through an elementary school and you see kids that are getting their lunches yanked from them and being told that they're poor and that they have to sit at another table, then that's the communities that you're forming for the future. You know what I mean? So I prefer to at least at this age to just have this equality of like, hey, at least as human beings, we all get to sit down and eat together. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like what the program does. The reason behind the coin is to make things trackable for us as an organization. Invisible Coin looks at like going in becoming a nonprofit organization eventually. I know it's something in the beginning I was like, hey, I don't think it's necessary. But we kind of did something. We set out to do in the beginning. I set out and I just wanted to be a dad that paid for like this little girl's lunches when she needed them. That's what and then they told me that there was a few more kids and I was like, well, I'll take a few more kids. And then other schools started to be like, hey, well, can you do this? And then I was like, well, I'll talk to my friends. And that's how it started, right? So I talked to my friends and then my friends got in and then this and that. And then before it was like, hey, we need more. And then I talked to my church and I talked to this guy and that guy. And before you knew it, it just became like a thing. But when it became a thing, we actually solved something as a community. Like we actually came together. I know a lot of times people come together and they want to, do something and everybody sets out and, you have all these good intentions, but then nothing really happens. Well, here we actually, if a child wakes up and goes to a school anywhere in Walled Lake, they get lunch no matter what happens. That's something we changed as a community. Well, we can do that nationwide, and we can actually start to change things as well. But we have to grasp what's available to us, and I think that the tools that are available to us today are cryptocurrencies, technology in its highest forms, for both education and for transfer of wealth and for all kinds of things that are coming. So I think as an organization, Invisible Dad, we're going to embrace this and see where it goes, in the future with it. Hopefully we'll be able to partner. What I envision is we get this through schools nationwide here. We're going to start distributing paper wallets to schools and just giving them the Invisicoin as it goes through. If they figure out how to use it, they figure out how to use it. If not, we'll burn it at the end of the year and, try to get more schools on board next year with education and etc. But we know that we can get a handful of our schools, on board. We can get the funds distributed to them. We can get people profiting off the coin, and maybe in the future we can also partner with bigger and larger organizations, like World Vision and stuff like that. And I by no means am saying that I've cut any kind of deal with World Vision or anything like that, but I'm saying my vision.
But I know
that in the future, a larger organization like that needs to transfer funds, for example, to get money into the hands of missionaries, money into the hands of organizations to build wells and all that kind of stuff. This is a super easy vehicle for them, and organizations to do that kind of thing. So.
Wow. Are you self-taught, Tony? How did you learn how to do all this
as
stuff?
we wrap up, if I...
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, here's what happened, right? And just like your the previous person that started the t-shirt company while we were watching here, right? He said something that was very magical. He said during COVID, right, things started to change. For me, it was the same kind of thing. During COVID, I have a business that I've run for many, many years, and it happens to be restaurant based around, servicing restaurants and etc. We all know what happened to restaurants during COVID and all that kind of thing. So I had to find a different way to make a living. Yep. And I was very interested in cryptocurrency. So I started a podcast called Tales from the Cryptocurrency, which was exactly that. And it was like, hey guys, I don't know anything about cryptocurrency, which I didn't at that point. I didn't know anything. I knew that there was Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I thought that made me wow, okay, I know about these coins. But I got on the podcast and I was like, hey, I'm going to open up a Robinhood account. I'm going to put in $100 and let's see what happens. So I did a little research. I did this. Long story short, if you follow the podcast and podcast history, I turned 100 into 1,000, 1,000 into 10,000, 10,000. I was working at going to 100,000, and at about 70,000, I said, hey, I'm going to make my own cryptocurrency. So now I know a lot about cryptocurrency.
I'll start.
How to secure it, how to code it, how to get it all out there. Yeah, and now it's consumed my life. So that's one of the things is I work on it now. I'm actually in a career transition now. So many other people have contacted me. I'm working for video game developers and stuff like that want to develop cryptocurrencies. There's another organization that has a courier service that they want to develop a cryptocurrency for. So I kind of lucked out into the fact that people were like, hey, you know how to do this? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, not too many people know how to do this, so I got into it, and now I'm kind of transitioning into that career, so
this story just continues to evolve and unfold. If I'm a general viewer right now and I want to log on and try to help or get some free coin, send them to invisicoin.org.
Yeah, the best thing that you can do is go check out the project at invisicoin.org, okay? Read the white paper, look at our timelines and all that kind of stuff. And then if you're interested more, go to invisicoindrop.live. That's where our airdrop is. You got to go to the airdrop before November 1st at midnight. November 1st at midnight, it goes away. Reach out to me on Facebook. If you just don't know how to do anything and you're like, I just want to get coin and hold it, whatever, you can just reach out to me on Facebook. On TikTok, there's a video that's gotten over 25,000 views. It's like a 2-minute video that shows you how to get started in 2 minutes or less. It's called How to Get Started in Crypto with 5 minutes, and it's a 2-minute video. So you could watch that and you'll get started on it. Reach out to me at Tony Invisidad on Facebook, Tony Invisidad on Instagram, at Invisicoin on Telegram. I'm I'm everywhere. So
Tony, it's been a pleasure watching this thing evolve, and
Thank you.
we'll continue to keep our eye on it. Appreciate you coming on the show again, sir.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me, guys. It's always a pleasure. And you guys look great, and hopefully we'll be able to talk. Maybe in 6 months we can get back together and we can tell you what we've actually done with the coin, right?
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Love
Yeah,
it.
we'll definitely be calling you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Tony.
Happy Halloween to everybody out there.
Happy Halloween.
Halloween, Tony. Love that
He's
guy.
a good guy to know. Smart guy right there. He's doing
cool.
great things.
Yeah, I mean it's really fascinating stuff too. Wow. Self-taught tonight.
Well, there
Lots
it
of
is.
podcast.
Episode 10 is all complete, Ava. We did it. One whole season, and we are going to keep it moving into November. Want to remind everyone to please share our episode from our YouTube page, like us on Facebook, and watch out for our Thanksgiving special. Remember to send in videos and your unique side dishes and your pictures from Halloween. We want to see everything you got. To all of our viewers, supporters, and guests, we thank you greatly supporting us for a full season. For Ava, Danny, David S. Pumpkins, I'm Lawton. Thanks so much for watching. Hey, that's easy. And happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.